Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining. Let's play a little Starfield tonight. I haven't done that in a while. I've been busy playing Space Marine 2, but I think Starfield is a great game. And I've seen a lot of content about Starfield out on the internet, on YouTube already. But one thing that I hadn't shown people was the ship that I like to build. So tonight, what I'm going to do is give you a walkthrough of my favorite ship that I like to build when I'm playing Starfield. Now, this is a this is an endgame ship, and I'm not going to take you through all the flying everywhere and building it and drag it out like that. But I will show you, what's the ship that I like? Why do I like it? How do I build it? What are the components? And kind of what do you need to build it? So I landed on Hope Tech. And also just so you know, I'm on like NG 10 plus. I've jumped through multiple universes, so pretty much all the necessary skills I have are maxed. So you're going to need a maxed out character uh, when it comes to piloting and the other shipbuilding type skills and ship flying skills. So I just happened to land at Polvo at Hope Tech, and I thought like, hey, let's do a walk around. So it's daylight, we can see what's going on. And basically, the ship I like to build is a big, cargo ship that's armed to the teeth. So that's the one I like. You might like something different, but that's the one I like. It handles like a brick. So flying along, it goes actually pretty fast, but when you fly it, don't expect to turn around very quickly. So just run around. You can see just a couple things to note. We got these big, landing thrusters that you would get here. These are the big heavy ones. Um, I'm still actually running, these level one engines, but they kind of look cool. And this ship, I'm more about function. If you can't tell, I don't think a ship needs to look pretty. It's flying through space. Nobody cares. that's that's my personal impression of it. But hey, again, your impression may differ. Walk around. Let's jump up and look at the top just for the heck of it. I usually have three guns on the front for forward firing that I can control on the trigger. Then basically I run eight, um, turrets that are on the sides. I don't really worry too much about people coming up from behind me. I figure I'm going to be shooting at everybody, from the front. So I did this green. The only reason I did that was this used to be the Mantis, or the Razorleaf from the Mantis quest. So I kind of like it when the pirates and the spacers run from me. So this is a modified, Mantis. I'm not sure there's anything left from the original Mantis. So with that, let's look at what the ship components look like. We'll start with that. And then after we do the components, I'll give you a walkthrough of what the inside looks like. Um, but again, I'm not going to go through exactly how to build it. So, as you guys know, you go to any ship services technician on any planet that has one, which are the big ones, or, if you've got a landing pad on your outpost, you can do this too. And then everywhere you go has slightly different components. Probably the best selection is going to be the landing pad, but there's a few of the specialized high-end components that you can only get from certain manufacturers that they're going to be missing, or there's certain quests you have to do. Like if you do the quest where you join the Vanguard after the first big encounter. I'm not going to do any spoilers in case there's new folk, but after the first big encounter, you'll get access to some of the Vanguard specific weaponry. All right, so we want to modify the ship. We'd go to view and modify ships. And then from here, this is what it looks like in the ship builder. Like I said, I like it. Yeah, so if you could, as you could see, over in the left-hand corner, pretty much all the systems are maxed out for power except the grav drive. So again, to run this build, you really need an endgame character. I mean, you need like max speed for this to work right. You need automated turrets at level 4. You need all that kind of stuff to run this one. So fuel's 320. That allows me to jump pretty much wherever I want to go. Hull was 1569. Cargo, is, I've almost got it maxed out. I might have to up my cargo. So the cargo's 28,538. I also have maxed out, my skill that gives you more cargo. So this thing can carry a ton of cargo, because I really hate having to drop things and pick it back up inside the ship and things like that. And I like to keep all my stuff in the ship. I don't like to put it in other places because the ship is always with me. And then so we've got one of the top Class C reactors on it. So we've got 40 power on it. It can carry 8 crew on this build. It can jump 30 light years right now. That's probably going to change here shortly. It's got 2560 shield, and then I'm running all particle beams. So one at 118, 103, and 156 kind of power. So the value, I guess, if I was going to sell it, would be 125,000. We'll see how much this thing costs, but it's a lot more than that. And it's got a pretty high mass. All right, so let's go into the ship builder. I'm using an Xbox controller, and so on mine you push X, and you can see that in the bottom right. But it's for you it's whatever you want to do. So again, now once you're in the ship builder, you see your ship. So let me deconstruct it a little. Let me pull it apart so you guys can see. So what I do is, the first thing I do when I want to build this ship, when I've entered a new universe, once I have enough money, is I generally like to do the Mantis quest, get the Razorleaf, and then I go to the Deimos shipyards. And when I'm there, I pick up the DS-40.2 Ares bridge. So that gives me 360 cargo, but what's most important is it gives me the crew stations. And then I just kind of look at it. But you do have to be Starship Design rank 3 to get it. So that's just something to know. And then while I'm at Deimos, I also grab the Deimos landing bay, because the one that comes on the Razorleaf doesn't fit this ship. So that's not going to work for you. So I do that first. And then that's pretty much all I do. And then I take the ship, and then I fly it over to here, to Hope Tech. And at Hope Tech, it's the only place that you can buy the Hope 55 landing gear. Now, why would you want that? It's all about lander thrust. Some of your landing gear only have 1 thrust. This one has 4. So this means for less weight, one landing gear can handle more weight. And again, this is going to be a beast. So you're going to want, if you build this thing, you're going to want all the landing thrusts you can get, and I'll show you why. All right, so you get you basically grab 4 of those and just slap them on your ship. And then the next thing I like to do is to fly out to Titan as soon as I have those. So let's pull these over because there's a couple things that you really, Titan is a good place to get. So I'm just, pulling the weapons off for now because I just want to show you guys, you know, what's all involved. And you don't have to do it in this order, but I'm kind of letting you know kind of where you'll be able to find, some of these items that you're looking for. All right. One other thing I might do before going to Titan, now that I think about it, is I might grab a few of these. Or actually, I'm sorry. This is why I go to Titan. Because Titan is the only place that sells Nova Galactic lander thrusters. And again, if you notice, these ones are 4. So lander thrust 4 power. So you want a bunch of these. And so I just grab a few of these while I'm at it, while I'm there. And then I do most of the ship build at the Nova Galactic Star Yard on Titan. But that's the only place you can get these. Pull the cargo containers off to see what else is coming under here. I also like this build because it's very ladder minimalist. There's only one ladder in the whole build, and that ladder is coming up from the docking bay. So I kind of like that because I just don't really like landers on my ship or ladders on my ships. That's just personal preference. That's just me, but I don't like them. And again, I also personal preference. I don't care if this ship is pretty. I like it to be green because mantises are green. I guess it could be a brighter green, but I kind of like this shade. So then what else do I do? So while I'm at the Nova shipyard, I can get those. And then I also sort out my habitation. So I like going on the ship. I like putting on a Nova Galactic all-in-one berth. I do that really because I like to have a couple of beds on the ship. Because I'm going to have a crew of 8, it just seems right to have a few beds. And I like to have a bed that I can sleep in, so that you can get the extra XP bonus. So I like to build one of them. I really don't do any cooking. I don't find cooking useful in the game still, even after the new updates. But I do like the beds, and for immersion, I kind of like, having 3 of them. 3's really not enough for 8 crew, but hey, we can hot bunk it, right? Another thing I think is critical on one of these ships is I like grabbing a captain's quarters, um, and the reason I do it is just because I want a symmetrical ship. That's really the only reason. And so if you notice, my ship is basically a square or maybe a rectangle when you add the engines in. Um, I kind of like that. So having the Nova Galactic captain's quarters is really just about it being symmetrical. It's just a thing I have because I already have the 2 beds in the other area, so I don't need the bed in the captain's quarters, so it's not critical. It does come with a chest as well, which is nice to have, and I use it, but this is only critical to me because of my tendencies towards, OCD. And if you notice a theme here, I like Nova Galactic parts. So I like to have a workshop. Why do I have a workshop? Because I don't like standard weapons. I like to get weapons upgraded as quick as possible. I actually believe the most important skill really in the game is probably the ability to upgrade your weapons. because your weapons just become so much more powerful. So, um, so I get in here, the workbenches. I don't really care that much for making parts, and I don't really care that much for making um, the spacesuit modifications. It's really about the weapon upgrades. So I get that with the workshop. And then I like to put an infirmary on. And again, this is just personal preference. I just like the look of the Nova Galactic Infirmary. The what I really put it on here for is it comes with a research station, and it comes with the ability to make, med kits. Um, I don't really do research on the ship. I've got pretty much that maxed out, but I do like to be able to make my own bandages or my own, um, you know, immobilizers, injectors, that kind of stuff. So that comes in an infirmary. You can get that also in a research bay, but I really like how the look of the infirmaries. So it's just a matter of how it looks. And then this might be the only piece I kept from the from the Razorleaf. I kept the Demos Armory because I'm a little bit of a loot goblin, and just to save space in my cargo when I don't have a lot of money to buy cargo bays. I like to put them in. I like to put my excess weapons in my armory, and I always end up with way more weapons than I need. So, so if you notice, you can build most of this ship on Titan at the Nova Galactic. Now let's look on the bottom. Oh, the other piece that might be from the Razorleaf, I think, might be this slim docker. Again, personal preference. If you want to change out the docker to something else, hey, you do you. There's no problem. Yeah, a lot of dockers will work here. I didn't really care what the docker looks like. Nobody's going to see it because it's on the bottom, and the way my build is, nobody's running underneath. It's all landing gear. Um, and So that's the docker I use. Then if you notice, the rest of the bottom is pretty much landing gear. And that's on purpose because this thing's going to be heavy. And so I want to have all the landing thrust I need. And I just like I like you really only have two choices for landing gear. You've got one of the variants of this NG20 um, with 4 thrust, and you've got that Hope Tech one that I showed you at the beginning, have 4 thrusts. So if you want to use the least number of landing gear components, you're going to use one of those two. And I just like the aesthetic look of the Hopes on the side, but I can't. My side space is not enough. I need more landing gear than that, so I put on the Nova Galactic on the bottom. All right, so looking at the other ship components while we're here, I just go with 2 Titan 550 HE3 tanks. That gets me 320 total grav jump fuel. That gets me anywhere I want to go. I think in one jump. I don't remember if I ever have. I don't think I ever have problems getting anywhere else. Um, so what do we power this thing with? Top of the line, I use an SF40 sheared flow reactor on my builds. It's a Class C reactor, gives me 40 power, it gives me the most. So again, it's I need all that power because I'm going to be running a lot of weapons and a lot of other high-end components like shields. I just need it. So speaking of shields, I use the Assurance SG 1800 shield generator, and that gets me 1600 shield on a class 3 shield. So that, again, best you can have. Oh, but again, this is Starship rank 4. So to build this ship, you're gonna need maxed out skills. So that's just one thing to note. So don't build it. Don't this is what you want to aspire to, or what I aspire to, and before I get maxed out skills, but you need those to build it. And then if I go over here, uh, the drive, I like the J52 Gamma it gets me, 50 thrust. So that's what gets me across the galaxy. And you may change this out, but if you notice right now, all of this gear gives me a 30 light year range. Now, zero mobility, like I told you, it handles like a brick, but it, but I can get anywhere I want to get in this thing pretty quick. And then engines. Interesting enough, a lot of people will disagree with me on this. I like running 4 White Dwarf 3015s. They're a Class A engine, and I get it that it's a Class A. So why would you do that? Well, I do that because look at my top speed. I get 180 top speed. So I got all kinds of speed once I get going. But it does take, if you're running these small Class A engines, it's got the highest speed, but the acceleration is low and the turning, thrust is low. The maneuvering thrust is low relative to the weight. And so you're going to turn slow, you're going to speed up slow, but once you're going pretty good. Um, so for my play style, that works. And I'm not that good in ship combat, but I can win pretty much every fight in this ship in the game on like the hardest difficulty. I don't have to turn the settings down to do that. So that's what I do there for engines. Okay. Um, we talked about the power. I think, the only thing I haven't talked about now, I think, is the weapons. So for weapons, I just grabbed these, cheap Horizon mounts. I think you get those at Deimos. So you can get those on Jemison. You can get them on, at the actual shipyard as well. And I just hang my turrets off the side. If I wanted to hang them across the top, there's a flat one you can run, a flat mount. But I choose just to hang them off the side, and I'll show you why in a little bit. So now let's look at the guns. So the way I like to configure my guns is I like to put 3 up front on the top here. And hey, what? Here, let me put this thing back together before we do that. This will just take a moment. This won't take long. Where did I get that one from? There. So this will just take a second. And this is my, first Starfield video. I just created my channel and I did a couple Space Marine videos. So if you're interested in those, you can jump over there and see those. But I probably will make a few more Starfield. Problem with Starfield for me is that there's so much good content out there already. I'm not sure what I could add. But if you guys think of anything, put it in the comments. If you enjoyed this, definitely like and subscribe. And put in the comments what you would like to see me make next related to Starfield or Space Marines or whatever. But if you're into Space Marines, definitely go over there and take a look at the stuff over there. If you look at my channel, you'll see I've got a Space Marine playlist, and on that I just basically play Space Marine and talk through it. Almost done. Let me put the engines back. Don't remember if that was there before. Doesn't matter. I know you might think, why is he putting it back together? Why bother? But I have a method to my madness. I will do a big reveal in a minute. So for, my forward firing weapon, I generally go with the Obliterator 250 MeV Auto Alpha Beam. So I feel, um, and I feel that this is the top setup in the game, is this all particle beam weapon, because they will hit through, they'll hit shields and hull, and these things just hit like a truck. Um, so so again, I do the obliterators as my forward firing. So these are on a trigger. And so this is if I want to just like board somebody and target a specific component, I use these and I power the other ones down. But I use the turrets for everything else. So I've got auto turrets. So on these, I like to run 4 of the Disruptor 3340 auto alphas. And the positioning doesn't matter, put them anywhere you want, but I just feel that them put on the side or the top, all forward firing, are just easier. So I've got 4 of those. I'm sorry, 8 of those. 4. I'm sorry, 4. Yeah, it is 4 of those. And then I run 4 of the auto alpha turrets, the PBO 30s. So I like those as well. And again, I think that is the top setup. You can get all of these. You can't get them in the same place, so that might cause you some grief. You're like, oh man, I can't buy these, but you can buy them all on Jemison, or you got to go to Jemison, and you got to go to Sam Coe's favorite place. So, Aquila sells the ones that you can't get. So between Aquila and Jemison, you can get all the guns. You can get some of them in other places, but I find I think I always end up with the method I use. I always end up having to go to Aquila to get the last set. I can get like 2 of them on Jemison and 1 of them on Aquila. I can't remember which one. All right, so the last thing I want to say here is, why did I build it like this and kind of put it back together? Because I just want to show you, as you saw earlier when I started, I'm almost out of cargo space. So what am I going to do? Well, you know what? With this build, I've got all this landing gear thrust, and I've got all this engine power and all so I can push myself along and grav jump, so I can handle a lot. So what I do is I just slap on more of these. So when I need more, I just put them here on the top. And on mine, I'm just hitting Y to duplicate, and I don't have to repaint. And then boom, now I got plenty. My mobility is still 0, but I still have top speed of 180. I still have, 30 light years. So again, that's what I would do. And then I can just put another row right here. No problem. And another row right here. I will have to move these if I do that. And then what I like to do in my gameplay a lot is I like to come and jump up here and shoot stuff. So we got 1 warning. I should probably look at that just so people don't say, hey, what are you doing? Low mobility. I knew that. So no worries. I got low mobility. That's okay with my play style. All right, so that's that. I think I'm not going to bother saving it because I'm not sure I want to put the new stuff on there just yet. So I'm exiting out. Let's take a tour of the ship real quick. I'm not going to fly it and show you guys a test of it. You guys have seen plenty of combat. Again, if you're interested in how this thing performs in combat, you want to see that, let me know. I'll make a video. Just say it in the comments. Maybe I will anyway. I don't know, but I don't want this video to be too long and people to get bored. But I could see making videos of this or the pirate fight. There's a few others. I've already done it in this universe, so I'd have to start the universe over, do another NG run. I don't mind. I'll do that. All right, so let's go in. Let's see what this thing looks like. So I enter. You notice there's just that one ladder, and now there's no more ladders. So it enters back in the, crew area. I got 2 beds. I like that. And this module, if I come over here, if you care about it, you got a cooking station, you got a toilet for aesthetics. If you care about that, some people just don't care about any of that because it's really not, you don't really need it. It just makes it look cool. And I just happen to like this one. So this kind of, I like this large crew compartment. Let's go up here and we'll look at the cockpit. Sometimes you'll find your crew sitting over here. Sometimes you'll find your crew sitting over here. You got a navigation console. I don't use it, but I just use the keys. I just pull the menu up using my controller is what I do. Um, and then this is what it looks like. I do think this cockpit has the best view in the game. I like it. And then just in case anybody hasn't seen one of these, over here is where you have the stuff you want. You got your captain's locker, you got your cargo hold. Mine's got a lot of stuff in it. You got your armillary screen, which I've got full, so I can do another NG run anytime I want. I've already finished the main quest. So for people that don't know, you can change universes at the main quest. That might be a spoiler, but the game's been out a long time. All right, so back here, this was this was our docking bay. So this is how we get back out to Hopetown. Run over here. Oh, I lied. There's 2 ladders, but you don't actually climb any. This one is your docking bay for when you're flying. Now in here is the captain's quarters. The way I lay it out, got my bed, got my 3rd bed here. I usually don't use it. I usually hang out I just grab the closest one. Got my galley so I can cook stuff up in here too if I want. Run over here. I got a storage locker. I like to throw extra gear in this. This is generally gear that's extra that I might modify and update and give to my crew. And then here is my work bay. So you got your industrial workbench where you can make components. You've got your weapon workbench. That's the most important thing in the game, I think, is where I can upgrade all my weapons, and you can upgrade your spacesuits. I don't really upgrade my spacesuits. As you guys can see, I'm running this one, which is the, let's see, where is it? Which is the Mystery Gravis spacesuit. I think it's definitely the best one in the game. I used to always run the one you got at the start of the new universe, but now I run this one. That's just what I like to run. It's got Chameleon, it's got Acrobat, it's got Mirrored, and a balanced boost pack. I like the balanced. I don't use any other boost pack. So the Mystery Gravis suit is what I run in pretty much every universe now. And then if I keep going towards the back, we get to the back, and then here is the infirmary. Barrett's hanging out in the infirmary right now. But the key thing, I wish these beds were usable, but they're not. They're just decorative. This is what I really care about. I want my pharmaceutical lab because I want to be able to make my own medicine. So that I always so this is the build I always use because I want that. I've got all my research maxed out, so I don't really need this, and I really never used it. I did all my research in ground labs anyway, and so I don't really use it. But the pharmaceutical lab's useful. The weapons workbench is useful. You can be out flying, and all of a sudden you find out you're out of stuff. What do? Well, you don't want to have to always go back. Just go on your ship and build it. And then my armory. I love my armory, and I like the update that allowed us to add, different items to ships. It's awesome because again, I'm a little bit of a loot goblin, and so what I do. Oh, just for people who don't know, if you bring up your scanner on mine, if you look at the bottom, it says decorate, and decorate is X. If you hit X, then it's just like you're building your outpost. You can put stuff in here if you want. So what I like to do is I like to put weapon racks in mine. So this is my, oh, if it comes up, yeah. So this is, oh, I'm still in. Sorry about that. I was still in decorate mode. So so this is my breach weapon rack with my, all my breaches. And then this is my Orion weapon rack, explosive commanders, advanced Orion, Tesla commanders, advanced Orion. Over here is my Bridger rack. I got a concussive commanders, advanced Bridger, and the Ashta tamer over here, and so forth. Over here, oh, I was a bad boy. I stole Jake's hangover cure back in the day, just for the fun of it. I don't ever use it. I just stole it because I could. This is my, my pacifier rack. So, demoralizing operators, advanced pacifier, um, brute force, skip shot, advanced shoddy, and you know, and if you notice, all of mine are fully maxed out generally if I've ever used it. So long barrel, recon sight, and if anyone cares, I let me know again in the comments. I'll make a video on what my preferred builds on weapons are. But because there are certain things I think are better than others. Again, you do you, but I've got a preferred loadout on my weapons, and I'm pretty consistent. I always build them out the same. Fiscal quarter, that's a quest. You get that on a quest. Um, all the blue ones pretty much you got from a quest. Frenzy Magpulse. What do we got over here? 1-inch punch, commanders advanced. Grendel. When I was low level, I loved Grendels. I used the heck out of Grendels when I first started this game. Brawler's Equinox. I consider this the best. The the best electromagnetic weapon in the game. Um, so whenever I need an electromagnetic gun, I come and get this one. I haven't done serious testing, so there might be some others better, but I like it. Yeah, I've got my Beowulfs. These are the old standards. Until I get something better, I love me my Beowulfs. As soon as I get one, I'm a really happy Starfield player when I get a nice Beowulf. So Tesla Commander's Advanced Beowulf, Elemental Commander's Advanced Beowulf. So nice. But again, these are on the rack. I'm not using them. Spare rack. And then back here, got a few others just thrown in here. Elemental Modified Advanced Magstorm. Furious Hand Loading and Elemental. Nice. Nice. What do we got here? Elemental Commander's Advanced Solstice. And then, again, with the decorate function, I threw some chests out here. I did different ones because I have different reasons. So I put a bunch of big weapons like Magstorms and Negotiators in here because you can't put them on racks. And then just other gear that I might at some point give to somebody. And money's really immaterial for me. I don't really care about selling stuff. At this point. Oh, the Mutineer. Yeah, that's a quest weapon. It's a very good weapon. The only thing I don't like about it is it's space adept. So it's great if you're in space, but you're hardly ever fighting in space. So I generally don't carry it. But it is an easy to get early weapon if you want it. A few more weapon racks up here. Peacekeeper, Marksman A99, so that's my A99 rack. So I kind of keep my weapons together. Here's my Kodama rack, Elemental Assassin's Kodama, and Titanium Kodama. Oh, Keone Alpin wants to talk to me about the Ashta. I haven't done that quest yet on this one. And then I also have spacesuit racks. So I really like the spacesuit racks, and the reason I do that is, hey, I can show off my Mercury pack rack, and I know no one's going to see it but me. Well, I guess you guys are seeing it, but that's a quest one that you can get and can be missed. If you miss it, you can't get it. This one, the Nishina. This one is one of the best. One of the best spacesuits in the game, especially early on. So again, a quest one. Oh yeah, the old favorite, the Mantis. So here's my Mantis spacesuit, anti-ballistic, weapon holsters, and incendiary on the suit itself. It was good times getting that the first time. Holy mackerel, that was a hard quest back in the day. Not so much anymore. And so I still have a sweet spot for my original Constellation stuff. So this is not even close to being the best in the game, but every time I got to upgrade on my Constellation stuff, I kept it. So I've got a full set of superior Constellation gear. Unfortunately, this is the max number of space suit racks that you can put in a ship. But you can put 2 of each item on there, so you can put 2 suits on there. Of course, my Starborn Venator, so that's the best Starborn quest spacesuit you can get, NG plus spacesuit you can get. You have to do, okay, small spoiler, you have to do NG plus 9 or 10 times to get that. They keep giving you a better spacesuit every time. And it turns out this was the suit I ran all the time until the Gravis came out. Yeah, you could argue fully upgraded, some of the other suits are actually better, but I like it being light, and I just liked it. So I just ran this one. And it was bolstering, resource hauler, and mirrored. So this one wasn't a very good one. The perks that you get down there are random, except balance. Balance is all the same. The stats are the same, but those you always get 3 perks. So that's why a lot of people don't like to run the Starborn spacesuit, because you lose out on the perks that you would get on the helmet and the boost pack. So instead of getting 9 perks, you're only getting 3. But I like it, and I think it looks cool. So I would always run that in the past until I got the Gravis, which is available now. And now that I've got the Gravis, that's all I run. It's the best one in the game, and it looks kind of cool. And then let's see, just in case you're wondering, I've been talking about me a little. Just again, I've been playing this game for a little while. NG10 plus with most of the skills max. So I just wanted to mention, since this was really about the spaceship, in order to do to fly this ship, you're going to need rank 4 in piloting, because it's class C. So once you put a class C reactor on a ship, you have to have rank 4 in piloting. It's a must. You don't need security. Targeting, I don't think you need targeting to build or fly this ship. It helps, but you don't have to have it. I do have max engine systems, so my max speed gets increased by 20%, so that's useful on a ship. I run payloads, so that gives me, on top of all the cargo capacity I built, I get an extra 50% because I'm rank 4 on that. Shields, again, I've got rank 4 in shields, so I occasionally resist 100% damage, and I get a 60% increase in shield capacity on this ship. So this ship is a beast because of this. I run particle beams only, so you can see I've got particle beams at rank 4. Now, if you notice, I don't run missiles at all. I have no points in missiles. I have no points in energy weapons. I have no points in ballistic. I had no interest. I knew very early on I only wanted to do um, particle beams. Let's see, robotics. I don't think robotics does anything for ships, but I do have starship design. You're gonna need this to build this ship because there's some components that are going to be rank 4. Automated weapon systems. That's really great. That makes my turrets really perform much better. And like you saw, I use particle turrets. I'm running 8 of them. Boost assault, great trait, great skill, but you don't use it here. I think there's one over here as well. Astrodynamics, yeah. There's a couple over here. Over in the science tree, astrodynamics, lets you jump drives, use a little less fuel and give you a little more range. For me, it's not useful right now in this ship, but once I add more cargo, what will happen is I'll hit a point where my jump range is going to start decreasing, and then this will become useful again. And then, like I said, I have nothing in geology, medicine, no, research, no, saying no, zoology, weapon engineering, spacesuit design. So these are the ones that help with the weapons that I was just talking about. Why you need this to upgrade your weapons. Scanning just lets you scan a little bit more, but it's not critical. Botany, astrophysics. Astrophysics do something. That's scanning planets again. Chemistry, outpost engineering, special projects. There's one more. Anaerotic fusion. Yeah, this one's critical because running this build, I want all the power I can get. And so I guess I should show you that too. I'll show you that before we stop. So ship reactors produce 5 more units of power. So that's the build. Now, if I want to actually go to my ship, let's just launch it for a second. Because I think if I'm going to talk about the ship, it's not going to be complete until kind of I show the power kind of factor. So let's run up, let's get in the pilot seat, let's take off real quick, and let me show you that. What you would, when you're actually flying through space, what is your power loadout look like? So I've got to launch to show you that. I think you have to launch to show you that. So that's what it looks like taking off. I think it's pretty enough. It would look better with another layer of cargo, but I didn't need it, so I just didn't do it yet, because at the time I built this ship, I didn't have enough money to add those cargo slots, and I just never got back to it. So this is what it looks like flying in space. This is what it looks like inside. And then, so the power loadout, I thought that was important. So if you look over here, you don't have enough power to max out everything. So what I tend to do is I always max out shield. And then depending on what I'm doing, I usually run my guns like this. I usually run my guns all at 70% power is my standard build. And I run my engines at about, what's that, 60% power? 50 or 60% power, 60 I think. And that's good enough for me. That allows me, to fly, and I said I wasn't going to do much flying, but that allows me to go 125 and it's just because I'm so heavy. But I still have decent boost, and it's good enough. So turning radius kind of looks like this. So again, it's slow to turn. But you know what? With all these guns, it doesn't need to be fast to turn. So this is what when I'm shooting, it looks like this. And then for people who don't know, if I don't want the turrets to automatically shoot, because they will, the turrets are all robotic. They shoot on their own. Just turn the power off like I just did there and turn up the power here. One other little known fact, or maybe it's not, is that whenever you start a fight, your guns are at 100% power, and so this power is just the charging. So no matter what, you're going to start your first volleys with full power wear it down, and then these settings just are how fast do you fill it back up. And get ready to fire again. All right, so with that, everyone, thank you for playing Starfield with me. I don't know if this was interesting or not, but I hadn't seen a video on a ship like this exactly. I've seen more complicated ones and ones with more cargo and such. Um, but I hadn't seen one quite like this. And so I wanted to show it to you and see what you guys thought. I hope you guys like it. Again, if you liked it, please like and subscribe to the video. Please comment if there's other Starfield videos you would like to see. I'll be happy to do them. I know, but there is a lot of good creators out there doing Starfield. And then again, yeah, a little plug for Space Marines. If you like Space Marines, go over there and see that. I'm making more Space Marine content because I think there's less of it out there than there is of the Starfield. All right. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining. Hopefully, we will do it again on another night. Bye.